mandatory time by special request. RSUs are restricted stock units. They're like granting equity or options in a company. They're a little bit different under US law, but under Australian tax law, we just consider them like equity. Had this fellow, he worked for a big US tech company, and he got a grant of 800,000 Australian dollars worth of RSUs. And it all vested at once due to a few things like performances. He was granted an incentive, reduced cliff, all sorts of things. Anyway, he got $800,000 of AUD worth of RSUs, became taxable income at $800,000. Now that's a lot of tax. We're talking about a guy that's already on 200K plus, and then he gets this on top. He's well over $1 million of income, which you kind of want to avoid if you can. But the worst thing you can do for tax purposes is to trigger tax on the vesting of RSUs and not sell some to cover that tax. So while he received 800K worth of RSUs released as stock to him, the stock then tumbled by about 65% in the following 6 months. This dude wasn't thinking about tax at the time, and understandable, it's not the forefront of your mind, but if you're in an employee share scheme, tax should be the front of your mind. This guy speaks to his accountant. His accountant then came and spoke to me and said, is there anything we can do? Basically, no. Old mate should have sold them when he got them, or at least some of them, and made that financial decision about, well, I'm got to pay about $300,000 tax. I'm going to sell some just to cover that and keep the rest, but he just kept it all, wore the tax liability. His tax that year was more than his entire salary. All that we could do was put him on a payment plan with the ATO, who were very grumpy about it, I have to say, because they just go, you got to pay your debts, got to pay your debts. They didn't have any regard to the economic factors that go into receiving a grant of equity, and then you're not selling them because people don't really get that advice until the end of the year when they speak to their accountant. But, we got it on the payment plan. We waived all the interest. It was pretty good. By pretty good, I mean horrendous, but as good as it could be. People with employee share schemes should be seeking tax advice every single time, even if it's just a basic plan, because this shit happens all the time.